Hey guys, what is up? It's Dusty here, and welcome back to another episode of the Daily Crypto News. And today, I have some very interesting news to share with you all. However, I noticed that a lot of my videos are not giving people notifications. So guys, if you don't have that notification bell on just quite yet, make sure you press that button. You can always decide to ignore the video, but at least you know that there's a new update. And again, at one of these points, the Ripple versus SEC lawsuit is going to end. And what if you didn't have those notifications on? You missed it, right? That's all I'm saying. Having said that, today have a ton of different stuff to talk about. A little bit about some new regulations for ads and kind of a story I have with you guys on that. A little speculatory piece on Ripple / some connections that are very interesting that you might have never heard about. It's actually a little bit deeper than many people expect. A little bit about Ether in that same story as well. Some big XRP transactions, I guess something to watch out for. A new launch that is really going on right now that I'm really excited for, which I want to share with you guys some more information about. And then I guess some more watch out type of articles over at the end. Having said that, so what is going on in Spain? Well, long story short, Spain right now is, well, basically just now, and I accidentally played something on my phone because I'm trying to put this timestamps in. Oh no. In Spain right now, they are trying to get some new rules for crypto ads. The Spanish regulator has gone after crypto influencers with more than 100,000 followers. Digital asset ads in Spain will have to include a designated warning from February 2022, according to a new release from the Comisión Nacional del Mercado de Valores. The paper outlined the new rules on Monday, January 17th, indicating that the watchdog wants to ensure that the advertising of the products offers true, understandable, and non-misleading content and includes a prominent warning of the associated risks. So, I guess this is really a good thing, right? Depending on how you see it, some people will lose out on some money over in Spain, I think, but I honestly think that if you're doing some ads in this exact sense, that you either tell people properly it's an ad or can only say true stuff, so to speak, right? When I sometimes watch a video of non-crypto people, the ads they make, for example, for a wallet, are so promoting, right? And I understand because the risks are very low if you're promoting a wallet, basically, like a pocket wallet, right? Because, okay, let's say it breaks, not too bad, or some stuff in that little nature, like a little fidgety toy, for example. With crypto, a lot of money is on the line. And so, from a certain perspective, I think it's only good, right? It's the restriction part that's not really nice as a crypto enthusiast, I guess, but it's good that they have to warn the people and they have to spit true information. I think this is the most important part. True, proper warnings. That's my thoughts about things. So I guess I'm excited for that. So people are going to hopefully get burned a little bit on their asses. Then the Ripple story. So I've been reading around for a little bit, and one of the most interesting parts that I've definitely seen of today is if you look to the SBI Holdings share overview, basically, one fun part is that obviously, we already thought so, but SBI Group is primarily held by banks. The Bank of New York Mellon, but interestingly enough, JP Morgan as well is about a 1.3% stake. You can see State Street Bank and Trust Company, State Street Bank, West Client Treaty, Yoshida Kita himself, Custody Bank of Japan, Bank of New York Mellon, and you can kind of see what's going on, right? Master Bank of Trust of Japan, whatever. Now, the interesting point of this came after I read this over on Twitter. Stephen shared, did you know that? I didn't know that. But it explains why SBI shows up so often in this recent SEC filing from Goldman Sachs. And there's a little article from 2007 where Goldman Sachs purchased 50% equity stake in SBI Japan Next. So SBI Holdings has reached an agreement with the Goldman Sachs Group, a U.S. company in New York, to work together in operation of a neutral proprietary trading system that will offer many benefits to participants in Japanese stock markets. SBI. Which is SBI Holdings Inc. and Goldman Sachs have signed an agreement that SBI sell the Goldman Sachs half of its equity interest in SBI Japan Next Co. And so they basically have a joint venture as far as I know, right? Because they have 50% ownership both in this SBI Japan Next. And so obviously they are looking out for each other in some way, shape, or form. However, how far you want to fetch this really depends on yourself a little bit, because Michaela here kind of drew the connection, rightfully so, which is Goldman Sachs to XRP, because obviously SBI is very connected to XRP and XLM, and then we have JP Morgan to ETH. We've been talking about that for a little while, about the connections that are basically out there. For example, one of the things we saw here is that JP Morgan said that the Ethereum upgrades could jumpstart the $40 billion staking industry, and that Ethereum is most likely going to grow like crazy. They basically explained in different articles. Now, it's not exclusive, by the way, because also in different little talks from JP Morgan, they've said that the Ethereum dominance can fall until we get sharding in 2023. And so they kind of contradictory in that sense. But one thing that's quite obvious around is that XRP and JP Morgan are really not necessarily in the same line, and JPM more so seems edged towards Ethereum. Yet in the most recent talks as well, we've kind of seen some funny little pieces, like how, for example, XRP and JPM are not really in the same bracket. XRP is in a lot of ways superior to JPM, depending on the purpose, obviously, as it's not centralized. And you can just read this little story that we read a couple of days ago right here. Stablecoins just doesn't really make a lot of sense. Even if all the banks got the regulatory approval to issue their own stablecoin, why would they all use each other's stablecoins? Or go from their stablecoin to Lumens to the other bank's stablecoin with the goal of mass adoption? A universal bridge asset has to be geopolitically neutral, and a USD-backed stablecoin doesn't solve for that. As again, China is not going to want to use it. But again, if JPM has their own coin, then why would another bank use that same coin? They would obviously want to use their own. So that's also going to make things a lot more difficult in a certain way. So yeah, but it's an interesting little connection, I guess, that SBI, which is a very big part of Ripple. We knew Yoshitaka Kitao was on the board before. Right now, some things changed up in that a little bit, but I believe SBI is still on the board, but just not Yoshitaka Kitao anymore. He believed, by the way, that XP would eventually reach $10, which is, again, a very large shareholder in this company. But all the banks that are in it, it's actually something I didn't know too much about, but it's also kind of fun to see the back end of Ripple in a certain way, slash XRP. The support is, I guess, a little bit deeper if you look for it. Now, before we move on with a little bit more XRP stuff, I want to quickly say, guys, and this is not an advertisement. Please understand. This is just something I'm telling you guys because I'm honestly very excited about it. So one of the things which I saw right here was Solana. Not really well known just quite yet, but started Crowd Revolution, decentralized cloud computing network. If you read through it a little bit here, what they basically do is their vision is to democratize CPU cloud computing. Solana connects blockchain developers and services to a global pool of computing power, and as a result, everyone will be able to rent out their spare CPU on your phone or whatever to power the next metaverse, or I guess anything basically. Our first project, Galactica, is focused on providing the compute power required to run projects' CI/CD infrastructure, so they no longer have to rely on big tech for their computational needs. And oh boy, do I think that is going to be huge. Now, just now the launch was over on MEXC, and the price went, I guess, from about 3 cents to 35. I thought the starting price was 10 cents, but of course this is an exchange and things sometimes move a little bit strange over on there. But I'm honestly telling you guys, this is just the start of this project. It's not a hyped up gem like I often cover on my channel, where the price goes times 1,000 the first day and then it just starts dumping over the next couple of months. I honestly believe with the backing that they have and the idea that this is going to be a project that's going to be around for a long term. And so honestly, guys, I cannot advise you to buy. I cannot tell you should definitely get into it, but I am telling you to look into it and think about it for yourself for a little second. It's built on Solana, and there's honestly quite a lot of potential in this project. I'm honestly really excited about it. And I don't have that too often where I hear a new project and I'm like, wow, that is a really smart idea. So having said that, check it out. A link, it's not going to be down below, I don't think, but just just check it out for yourself. Honestly, you will not regret it. If you like Solana, you will definitely like this project. And so make sure you at least do your research a little bit. I will not let you down. Obviously. So check it out, guys. Check it out. I was a little bit too late though, because it just launched like a couple of minutes ago, but I was unfortunately a little bit late with covering this. But yeah, hopefully it's still quick enough. You know, we're still only at triple the I guess the beginning price, I believe. That was the public sale price. I think it was 10 cents just now. All right, then $40 million worth of XRP withdrawn by this whale from Binance. And here are the reasons. Well, do we really need to cover that? Not really. Whenever we see a huge withdrawal like this, you can obviously say it's a bullish thing. Then again, in hindsight, or I guess in retrospect, whatever, it doesn't really matter. Let me explain. Whenever you see a huge transaction like this, it is obviously for the people that want to promote something. It's like, wow, they're taking a lot of money off the exchange. That is amazing. That's less selling pressure because, well, they have to deposit it on exchange first before they can do this, that. Two reasons why that's not really true. One, we've only seen a skewed view. We've only seen the withdrawals. We haven't seen the deposits. It could be that the net flow, which is the outflow, I guess, additional by the, or plus by the inflow, if that is actually showing that there's more going out, or more going in than more going out, well, then this number really didn't matter to us because somebody might be withdrawing, but many people are pushing it in. That doesn't make a lot. Another one could be, this person could be withdrawing it. First of all, which could actually be a sale. I mean, you can actually withdraw it to somebody else's wallet because you sold it, right? But another is you could actually send it to OTC. So it could be because it's such a huge amount of XRP that they took it from the exchange which they were holding it on, which could, for example, have been a custody wallet on an exchange. And right now they withdrew it to an OTC desk, for example, or something along those lines because they want to sell it. It doesn't really mean too much. I can really stay excited right now and say, wow, guys, this is so amazing. They're withdrawing. But let's keep it real, all right? We don't know exactly what this means, but most likely means absolutely nothing. And even if it's one specific wheel, you don't know what the others are doing. So let me quickly go into what they're saying about it. Transaction appeared on the network a few hours ago to an undisclosed trader moving $40 million away from the exchange. Address ending with this little thing. Currently owns a staggering 500 million XRP that he or she has been staking since November. Wondering exactly what they mean with staking in that sense. The wallet address has not been tagged by the network, which remains unknown to the general public. The address has been continuously receiving various transactions from Binance, which lets some users to believe that somehow it is connected to the exchange for internal transfers, which could definitely be the case because it has such a huge amount of XRP in it. All right, then, I guess a couple of warnings here over at the end. All right, I have to just warn people about these things because, well, I notice a lot of people don't know about them. First of all, if you see someone on Twitter that portrays somebody, how can I explain it better? No. If you go over on Twitter and it looks like a person you really look up to or a person in general that you think has authority, and you see them asking for donations or you see them linking a website where you can win a giveaway, yada, yada, most likely fake. Don't send anybody money in this sense. Somebody like me, for example, a YouTuber, I guess, or a Michael Saylor, a founder of a project, anything like that, they will never want your money just like this. It makes absolutely no sense to me. Worst thing that can happen is that they, for example, want your email only. But even then, you got to be really cautious with all things and how you set it up. You know, I'm always trying to be, I guess, careful with exactly how I phrase things here as well, because I know people are obviously going to fall for this still, even though I explained it here. So I'm trying to really make it as clear as possible. I have a little motto of I will never send anybody a DM. So if you ever want to get in contact with me, you have to text me first. And you can see all my social links down below in the description. Now, if you go over to Twitter, there's a good chance that somebody that looks like a DustTBC will respond to you, but it ain't me. You got to be really careful with that because I don't have that many impersonators. On YouTube, we have a lot, but on the rest, we don't really have that many. Michael Saylor, for example, has thousands of impersonators. These are a lot of people, I don't want to call out specific places in the world where they most likely reside, with phone rigs or computer programs, whatever you want to say there, who spend their entire days trying to scam people, and sometimes it works. Just be careful, be cautious. It happens all the time. And a couple other things to watch out for is, I guess, scams in the forms of really trendy coins. Because here, for example, one project, I've absolutely never heard of this, had a crazy rise, apparently. Once more, I don't know too much about this. When checking out their Twitter, though, this post did really well. Promotional piece, it looks like. But the rest of their post does absolutely bad. So honestly, I would never get involved with this. It looks like a really big sham, scam, whatever you want to call it right there. If they were so hyped up and so cool, they would kind of be like V-Launch where they get thousands of likes and thousands of retweets and everything because they're so hyped up and so amazing. Doesn't sound like something I would get into. And the same thing goes for a lot of these tokens which are looking really good. If they're up this much percent, it absolutely does not mean anything in the future. And most of the time, I would actually stay away from those type of projects unless they're so heavily covered and so heavily hyped up and so heavily out there. But most of the time, it's not the case. Most of the time, you have to really watch out for them. All right, guys, having said that, hopefully you all enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure you press the like button and subscribe to the channel. And I will definitely see you guys again in another crypto video later today.